How's it going, guys? As you guys know, most of my videos are upbeat and happy. This video will not be different, but I just wanted to get some stuff out of the way. When I started my YouTube channel, I made it an objective to show what you can accomplish through trucking, and I wanted to be an upbeat and happy voice in general because that's the kind of content that I like to see. And I believe that I've been mildly successful at that. I have an entire playlist of happy memories. You can check it in my channel. It's Trucking Is What You Make of It. And with the exception of a few videos, and by few I mean 2, 3 tops, I've been pretty successful at making the most of every situation that I've encountered. The reason why I'm saying this is because I don't want you guys to think that just because I'm upbeat and happy, I am detached from what's going on out there. I understand that the market is going down, or the market has been down, and that affects a lot of people. But I find myself in, I wouldn't say unique, but definitely a very blessed position in which it's about to hit my trailer. Okay, cool. That was a close one. Look at this, guys. Oh, that broke. Well, guys, my phone mount just broke. But anyway, as I was saying, don't think that I'm detached of what's going on out there. I understand the market is down, but if you've watched my videos, I hardly ever mention it. It doesn't seem like I'm affected by it, and we'll talk about that on this video. But before we get to that, I wanted to address that because I'm very in tune or aware of the reality out there. And it's always good to show empathy, compassion, generosity, solidarity for your fellow brother, your fellow sister, your fellow trucker. Not just for show, genuinely have care for other people. And I do. But in the end of the day, or at the end of the day, each and every single one of us is responsible for our individual success or failure, preparedness, and while I'm able and I do show empathy and solidarity for other people, I am still the one that is responsible for my own success and improving upon my life. And because of that, I still have to look after myself. And I wouldn't expect anything less from any of you that's watching right now. So why am I saying this? Because I have taken certain steps that allow me to live my life the way I am living it right now, with this job that I love and enjoy. And if somehow those steps that I have taken within the boundaries of morality, looking after myself, affect someone else, I am sorry that that may affect someone else, but I am not sorry for the decisions that I have taken, because in the end of the day, I'm looking after myself, as should you. We are responsible for our own success, and two people that are drowning cannot help each other, guys. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. So, as long as you understand that, I believe we are on the same page. That doesn't mean that there aren't situations out of our control that have a negative effect on our lives. Of course, that happens. But it is up to us to take a step back, realize the situation in which we're in, and make changes accordingly to better our lives. I have made a series of mistakes in my life, as I'm sure you have, whoever it is that's watching this. And you gotta handle yourself in the best way for you. So with that being said, let's get to the topic at hand. What's going on with the market? What's going on with me? Should you join the trucking industry? Let's get to it. I'm sorry guys, it's getting really hot in the cab, and of course I have the AC back there, but this is usually where I record my stuff. I'm just trying to find a good angle to set the phone. That phone mount breaking really ruined. It's really messing with my groove. Okay guys, so we're back at a decent angle. Before we get started, let me just say that all that I'm going to talk about is based on my experience working with Prime, and as most of you probably know, Prime is a mega carrier which has contracted freight, meaning that while the market is going down, mega carriers are, I wouldn't say in some kind of bubble, they're definitely not immune to the market being down, but are more consistent with loads and load pricing, payment, etc. So, of course, this is based on what I've experienced. And when it comes to load payments, loads are still paying about the same, in my experience, but they are not as consistent in availability, if that makes any sense. Like in the past, I would have a load ready or set up for me before I was done with the previous load, and that still happens, but not as often. I find it that for the most part I'll deliver at a receiver, and it'll probably be either a couple hours before I receive my next load, or if I do receive it sooner, it doesn't pick up until the next day. And that has been my experience. But when it comes to how much the loads end up paying per mile, the revenue has been pretty much the same, maybe a little bit less, but not really. I feel like it's still consistent, and that is around $2 per mile. Maybe in the threes if it's like a short load, but for the most part, around the $2 per mile range. Now that's been my experience within Prime. I don't really do research when it comes to owner operators because it's really none of my I'm not concerned by it. But from what I've heard, owner operators have been making around $4, $5, $6 per mile on a good day. I've read some comments from people say that loads going from like California to Arizona are paying like $1.60 per mile. So that's what I've heard in my limited research. So take that information as you want or for what you want. I'm most comfortable talking about what I know. But from what I've been able to read or gather in my limited research, $5, $6 per mile is low for owner operators. Almost to the point in which it's not worth it to some owner operators to even move or take any loads that are paying that amount. I'm not trying to stir the pot. I'm not trying to bash anyone. Everybody has their unique situation. But I'm able to make a decent living making $2 per mile with the big truck payment that I'm comfortable with. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna leave it at that. When it comes to that, each and every single one of us is responsible for providing for our families, looking after ourselves, preparing for the future. And a lot of owner operators that they prepare for the future are comfortable sitting because they don't find these loads worth their time, I guess. Now, I'm not telling anybody what to do, but in my experience in the car business, in which I had that option of sitting because I didn't find something worth my time, looking back, I think that I was dumb letting someone else make my money because I felt entitled enough to just sit and not take a job. And that's the main reason why I rarely decline any loads. I'm not thrilled when I get a load that pays less than what I'm used to, but based on my previous experience, I find it that it's better to make some money than no money at all. And more often than not, you still make money even though the load pays less. But that's just me. When it comes to the current market and the current situation, all I can say is that it is a free market. Shippers and receivers are, and clients, truckers, brokers, whoever, are free to do business with who they want in all ends. And also that in my limited experience, there will always be someone that can make the job or that is willing to take a job for less money. Because their situation just, well, because either their situation allows them to, or because they're not seeing the loss just yet. So, I really don't know where I'm going with this, but just be aware, keep in mind that regardless of how you feel about the market, it is a free market. So the market will correct itself organically. And we're going to leave it at that. When it comes to my situation, clearly I'm not faced by it. I'm in a not unique. I'm just in a situation that is not common, I guess. In which, I don't have a family. I have limited expenses. And I'm committing to being as frugal as I can so I can make the most money. So I can prepare and set myself for this type of situations when I do have a family or other responsibilities. And that's basically my situation. So yes, the market is down. No, it's not affecting me. You could argue that yes, because I'm sitting a little bit longer, I am making a little bit less money, but it's still more money than what I was making before. So I'm happy. Which brings us to the question: should you join the trucking business or the trucking industry? Yes and no. It really depends on your individual situation, and I will touch on it on a separate video in which I want to break some of the numbers for you so you can analyze if it's beneficial or convenient to you. I will tell you this though. It's not my job to sway you either way. I don't really have a job in this space. YouTube being what I'm talking about. Like, it's not my job to convince you on whether you should join Prime or should join the trucking industry or whatever. My goal is to provide you with my perspective, the steps that I'm taking to make it work for me. And you're supposed to take that information, do as much research as you can on top of what I'm providing, and figure out if it's going to work for you. Before I let you guys go though, I just want to say that within my personal expenses that I am able to cover and save some money on top, $1,200 are things that are not essential for living and that I decide to keep because I just want to. You can call them weaknesses, and I think that it is a weakness to a degree. I mean, I could get rid of my storage unit, get rid of all the engines that I have in my storage unit, and my convertible that I want to keep. That's just a want, it's not a need. And that is $520 a month. And then I have some other personal expenses that total $600 a month, around $1,200 total, that I could do without. I don't need them. I choose to have those expenses. So if I were to get rid of those, that would be an extra $1,200 a month in my pocket on top of what I'm already making. So you that is watching and considering maybe joining the trucking industry don't have, I mean, you probably have your own weaknesses or your own wants that are maintaining or sustaining, and that's perfectly fine. But maybe it's not $1,200 worth. So if it's less than that, that's more money that you could be making. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Oh, and let me know in the comments what you think. Like I mentioned, it is a free market. I believe that there will always be someone willing to do the job for less. And this happens in every industry, not just trucking. So just let me know what you think. And I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you for watching.
This should never get sold, bro.